Hello, Jet Setters. I'm Jeb Brooks with greenergrass.com. Right now I'm in Chicago, Illinois. I came up here yesterday from my home in Greensboro, North Carolina on a CRJ550. Subscribers to this channel will know that is probably my least favorite airplane out there. United has heard that customer feedback and have inaugurated a new aircraft type. It's the CRJ550. It's another 50-seat regional jet, but with a lot of key differences. So I'm looking forward to sharing those with you in the course of this video. But first, let's take a look at what the CRJ550 is replacing. A small 50-seat regional jet makes perfect sense for airlines who want to serve smaller markets with increased frequency. The fact of the matter, though, is that the CRJ200, like this one, is just too small for 50 people. In a word, it's uncomfortable. Here's a tip for you. Cook your stroopwafel over your cup of coffee to make it even better. As much as I dislike the CRJ200, it's undeniable that it'll get you safely from point A to point B. But there's nothing quite like the stress of waiting on your bag in a crowded jet bridge when you have a tight connection. Thankfully, I was staying in Chicago. But still,
that kind of sucks, but the good news is it all changes soon.
After a quick but eventful visit to Chicago, it was time to head back to the airport for the big day. Now, I'd intentionally not booked the inaugural flight. That was earlier in the day to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I think I had a pretty good reason for doing it. But if you're interested in seeing that very first flight, check out my friend iTripReport's video on it. Now, I'll link it in the description. But I chose to book a flight later in the day because that would be the inaugural trip to Greensboro, the first flight of the CRJ550 to my home airport. Now, GoJet, the operators of the CRJ550 for United, are adding a crew and maintenance base to Greensboro, so welcome GoJet. My first glimpse of the CRJ550 was exciting, of course, but it's not really a new plane per se. Instead, it's a CRJ700 with 50 seats in it. Now, the FAA did have to recertify it because of the changes to the weight and balance that the adjustments made, but from the outside, you'd think it was a CRJ700. Everything looked good, I was getting excited, but then we learned of a delay. It turned out there was a leak in a crew oxygen mask. Fortunately, they got it fixed more quickly than they planned, so we boarded. It's happening. I can't wait. I struggled with the so-called monuments or luggage lockers on board. By the time I'd gotten on the plane, the one at the front was full, but it somehow looked like there was still space in it. No problem. Plenty of room in the one across from my seat, 4A. Now, this cabin is impressive. The 10 first-class seats are massive. Another giant step forward for this aircraft is the fact that there's an Economy Plus cabin available as well. And people with Star Gold status can enjoy Economy Plus seating on this airplane at no additional cost. There really is room for everybody's rollaboard bag. It's amazing. 20 inches of width, 42 inches of pitch. These first-class seats are massive. One downside of seat 4A? No window. The best seats for window placement look like row 2. Really liked seeing individual gaspers or air vents. They're great, especially in the summer. Unfortunately, despite the fact that nearly everyone was on the plane, we were delayed a bit longer because some passengers left the gate area and didn't know that the problem had been corrected earlier than they thought. Public service announcement: don't stray too far during a delay. Anything can happen. But soon we were off. One of the advantages for airlines for a 50-seat plane is that the FAA only requires one flight attendant on board. One of the disadvantages for flight attendants working this plane is that it's a ton of work for one person. Because of the design, the safety briefing had to be done twice. Once for first class and once for the main cabin. Flight attendants must also stock the first class service bar, serve drinks to the first class cabin, and serve 40 passengers in the main cabin. One person who serves 10 first class passengers, 40 economy passengers on flights as short as 30 minutes, that's a lot of work. Once we were airborne, the impressiveness of our GoJet flight attendant shined brighter. In no time, we were presented with a drink, he took our orders on the ground, and a cheese plate. After cutting the cheese, I went to the back of the airplane where the one and only lavatory is located. The economy cabin on the CRJ550 doesn't differ much from any other regional jet. The biggest advantage is just not having to wait for your bag on the other end. United provides in-flight entertainment through their app, which I found to be a little difficult to use. I finally got it working for a while before it quit again. It was probably user error, and who really cares about in-flight entertainment with views like this? If for some reason the cheese plate didn't do the trick, there's always the self-service bar available to first-class passengers. The flight attendant passes snacks in the main cabin. It's stocked with snacks, and there are even cold drinks in a refrigerator below it. My biggest impression is that United took a massive leap forward designing this plane. It's going to offer passengers a consistent experience across their fleet. For example, if you're an international Economy Plus passenger connecting to a smaller city, you'll enjoy a similar seat on the connection. Definitely a good thing. Oh, and be sure to say thank you to the flight attendant working your CRJ550. They work hard. As always, between now and the next time, see you in the sky.